Hello everyone, I'm Greg Weaver. Welcome to The Audio Analyst. Hi. Hello, sweetie. How you doing? You ready? Today, in the first full dive into the second space concept, we are going to take a closer look at and listen to the remarkable Audience ClairAudient 1+1 V5 personal reference monitor. At $3,495 a pair, this is a unique monitor that, once you hear, you may not be able to forget or give up the performance bar that they set at that price. My exposure to the ClairAudient speaker approach dates back to January 2006, when I heard the original prototypical 4 drivers per side line array at that year's The Show. It was also at that time that I learned that when John McDonald and Richard Smith founded Audience in 1997, their fundamental goal in doing so was to realize a loudspeaker that would set a new standard in audio performance, ideally one of crossoverless design. Since that original listen, I've had considerable exposure to the extended ClairAudient loudspeaker lineup. In July 2010, I was invited to visit Audience President John McDonald's home in San Marcos, California, where I had the privilege of hearing the first ClairAudient 16+16. Next came The Show 2011, and the audition of The One, the entry-level ClairAudient loudspeaker, a product that had been my office desktop reference speaker since that time, and which received one of my Writer's Choice Awards for its unparalleled purity of timbre, utter transparency, and faithfulness of pace and timing. That event also saw the inaugural showing of the ClairAudient 2+2s and the 4+4s. The Show 2013 saw the introduction of the speaker under examination today, the original ClairAudient 1+1. Now in its 5th iteration, the 1+1 V5 maintains its uniquely truncated, beveled, trapezoidal shape. Weighing just 8 pounds, standing 8 inches high, 9 3/4 inches deep, and a scant 6 inches wide, they are minute, even by mini monitor standards. As you may assume, fit and finish are world class. But the photos cannot do their graceful, elegant appearance justice. You really need to be in their presence to fully appreciate their refined and stylish design. With a black lacquer finish on their top, bottom, front, and back panels, their 2 side panels are finished in a lustrous wood grain. Their binding posts, which are ultra-low mass, gold-plated brass with no nickel anywhere in the mix, their solder joints, and Audience's own high-purity Ono internal hookup wire, with its cross-linked polyethylene insulation jacket, are all cryo-treated together as a completed assembly. Featuring a pair of their remarkable A3S2 3-inch titanium alloy drivers, with one each centrally located on both the front and back baffles. They also include a pair of 4-inch passive radiators, with one centered on both of its side baffles. As a true bipolar design, with both A3S2 drivers wired in phase, each driver and its respective mated passive radiator are housed in isolated chambers. The internal damping applied to these chambers is both proprietary and confidential, so that is about all Audience will share in that regard. But the careful pairing of the A3S2 with these passive radiators afford both enhanced bass extension and limit the active drivers from unloading below their tuning frequency. Also, because the A3S2 drivers have a total moving mass of only 2.5 grams and use vastly oversized motors, they offer response times along the lines of those of electrostatic panels, which can account for the remarkable degree of broadband musical detail fine resolution, and extreme transparency they so effortlessly provide. Though the 1.1 V5s measure flat from 55 Hz up to 22 kHz, given their diminutive size, I'm sure everyone wants to know about their bass response and dynamic capabilities. Well, I'm happy to share with you that the changes that were made with the V5, they are capable of generating some very tight and powerful bass on their own and can deliver exciting dynamic transients. You see, among the many developments included in the V5 is the addition of a filter at 40 Hz. By restricting them from attempting to recreate information below 40 Hz, they no longer even attempt to generate frequencies below their effective range. This removes the mechanically induced driver distortions that would do nothing but congest and corrupt the purity and speed of the frequencies in their effective range. The result is that they not only produce better, more dynamic, and pitch-defined bass on their own, but it also contributes to a smoother mid-range and more extended, refined upper frequency response. Yet another key advantage of their use of a single full-range driver is that they avoid the need for an otherwise mandatory dividing network or crossover. By excluding an active filtering crossover network, transitions at some of the most critical frequency ranges, particularly from the mids to the treble, are uncharacteristically smooth and supremely coherent. One of the clearest strengths of this V5 1+1 is that they offer an overwhelmingly natural sense of timbre and a silkiness and fullness of tonality and texture. This clearly should be seen as among their most significant design attributes. I'll leave it to the most curious among you to explore their full development, and to that end, I've included a link to their webpage in today's description section. What I find most remarkable about these gorgeous micromonitors is that they serve up everything in a delicately layered, remarkably liquid, eerily resolute, clearly defined, and musically compelling manner. Their uncanny coherence allows them to speak with an exceptionally convincing, single, continuous voice, one that is full-bodied and replete with complex harmonic structure of individual instrumental accents. When it comes to truthfulness of timbre, musical resolution, and transparency, be prepared to be utterly spoiled. Their ability to expose the subtlest of nuanced instrumental characteristics of strings, horns, pianos, even percussion instruments, revealing not only their bloom and body, but fleshing out rich, vibrant tone color, borders on revelatory, especially at this price. While it's true enough that the V5's native bass extension and impact and heightened dynamic expressiveness will be more than impressive enough for most listeners, I had to try them with the addition of my stereo subs, already set up and ready to play in my second space. And as impressive as the 1+1 V5s are on their own, the magic I unleashed when integrating them with my subs took them to another level entirely. While they stand alone very convincingly, when combined with my very affordable stereo subwoofers, the improvements in their ability to scale, to present deeper, more impactful bass, and most importantly, their more accurate presentation of stage sizing, imaging specificity, and venue space and acoustic, and that sense of air and space around and between instruments was undeniable. These enhanced attributes, when combined with their own native speed, articulation, and faithful tonality, were enchanting. Let's give them a listen. The tonal purity, coherence, transparency, and resolution the Audience ClairAudient 1+1 V5 offers should be obvious and clearly why I find these little monitors to be compelling overachievers. In those regards, they set a benchmark at their price, one that can't be easily approached, let alone matched, unless you are prepared to spend considerably more. As always, thanks for taking the time to drop by today. Further information on supporting the channel may be found in today's description section or at my website, theaudioanalyst.com. Please stay safe and keep the music playing. Till next time, cheers.